video is gonna briefly talk about the 2011 Tele Atlas BMW navigation DVD on the I'm using a 2001 330i with the MK4 navigation and 16.9 navigation monitor. It's a DVD navigation sort of software, and as you can see, that's the package of how it looks. And I previously had the 2010 in my car, and I upgraded to the 2011. And as you can see, the discs are in there. This is the 2010 that I had in my car, and this is the West Coast version of the 2011. I have the I have the East Coast in my trunk right now. So as you can see, that's the West Coast, and that's the East Coast. The DVDs are separated into two sets. Usually there's a East Coast that covers Canada, as you can see, the Canada, and East Coast USA, and that's called the East Coast disc, or the usually one of two. And the 2 of 2, the second disc, covers the West Coast, Mexico, Canada, and also Puerto Rico, and I think Hawaii is also covered. Yeah, Hawaii is covered on the second disc. The downside of this is, I think, is if you live in one of the middle states like Chicago or North Dakota, South Dakota, going down the line, and you tend to commute between the two boundaries, and you may have to like stop, get out of your car, and change DVDs, and you also may have to buy both East and West Coast discs. Like I said, I originally bought just the East Coast for the 2010 because these are extremely expensive DVDs. They're about $200 and up at the dealership per DVD. And if you buy the set, it's a little cheaper if you buy both sets. It comes to like $250 or something like that. Depends on where you get it from. And that's basically what it looks like. It comes in this packaging when you go to the dealership and you buy it. It says Tele Atlas. It's a hard cardboard case. The previous Navtech DVDs came in like actual DVD plastic case. This comes in a paper one. I'm not sure if that's because of budget cuts or what. Anyway, on to the features. It's really quick. I could go in, let's find a destination. Go to one of my last destinations. I'm actually in Brooklyn right now. I'm going to retrieve address. And you'll see how quick this works to load. So I'm going to pick someplace far away. Let's go to Westchester, Brooklyn, Westchester. And I'm going to go to that destination, and let's hit, I want a fast route. Everything's already in there because I used it before. You could store destinations onto your computer, which is kind of cool. You can also store points of interest, create and store points of interest as destinations that you want to go to. Like if you frequent, like say Disney World or something like that, and for instance, if Disney World is not on a point of interest in the DVD, you could store it your own. Like you could store Disney World, say your aunt's house or whatever, as a destination. So it's that fast. So the minute you do it, it routes everything that fast. And this is like 28 miles away from where I am. So it's routing a 28-mile, a location or destination that's 28 miles from where I am, through New York City, through the Bronx, through Westchester. And it's not like easy to do. It's not like a country road that takes you straight there, or a one highway. So we can go look at the route, the information, and let's look at route list. So it's routing me through the Jackie Robinson, Pennsylvania Avenue, Queens, New York, and the routing is on point. And this is probably it's most likely that this is a route I would take to go to Westchester from where I am in Brooklyn. As a fast route, it is a fast route. So the routing is really on point. I have no complaints. The navigation instructions.
Now turn left.
The voice is really clear on the. It sort of parallels the music that you're playing in your car. I'll turn my music down.
Now turn left.
And you can hear the navigation. And let's just end guidance. Another cool feature about this is, other than it's really fast, let's look at the map. The 2011 disc, you can modify it to have red light cameras, and as you can see, there's a camera there. Let me just zoom in on my navigation screen. You also have that feature, as everyone would know. You could scale in and out. Let's scale down a little bit more to where I am. turn my heat down. It's really hot in here. So as you can see where I am in the intersection, there's a red light camera right in front of me actually, and it's telling me that. And if you look up at this intersection, Pennsylvania and Linden Boulevard, there is a red light camera here, and it's telling me that. My negative of this, the way it displays the red light cameras, it's not a traffic feature that's embedded into the map or the software to alarm you as, like, say, like a road name or something like that. It's more of a point of interest, so it's something you could actually look up. Say if I'm going to no, we don't want to go there. Say if I want to go to information, travel information, info, and city, and I'm gonna search, and it gives you a lot of point of interest that you could go through. It's so many I don't have time to discuss in the DVD, in this review. So red light camera features and speed cameras, and I could do a search within up to 500 miles radius, which is basically the entire portion of the map. I'm just going to do 25 miles. I'm in Brooklyn. Brooklyn is not much bigger than 25 miles, and it gives you all the red light cameras within a 25-mile range from where your car is currently located. But it sort of gives you them as if it's a point of interest, like if it's something you'd want to go to. So destination guide, let's go back. So it's giving me this red light cameras in the Bronx, New York. It's on a road that doesn't come up, and I could choose to go there if I want to go.
Left.
Go to this place. It's 22 miles. As you can see, it changed the route, and I'm going to the Bronx, New York for this red light camera. Let's just end that, and let's go back to information, travel information, information on location, car and travel, and that's kind of how it would work. It also has a police speed trap feature where you could bring up the same way. I'm gonna search within, say, 50 miles this time. There's not a lot of police speed traps in Brooklyn because there's always a lot of traffic, so you're not really speeding anywhere, and the cops don't really bother themselves with looking for people speeding, unless it's like 2 a.m. in the morning and you got like drunk drivers racing on a boulevard or something like that. But normal traffic time, no one's really speeding in New York City. And I'm going to bring that up, and it comes up as a destination, and this is 0.1 miles, so this is actually right in front of me. So let's go to map, and we'll see the checkered flag is actually where that police speed trap is. And I look over here, and it's not a police speed trap, but what this is referring to is actually a place where the cops hang out. There's a mobile gas station right there. I don't know if you could see it. It's kind of blurry, my windows are dirty. And the cops hang out there because a lot of people either run the light at the intersection, or they run as a turn signal light, and people don't either signal to turn or they turn when it's a red arrow. And the cops hang out right there. It's actually a little hidden, sort of, it's behind a wall, and you can't see them. So I've seen cops pull people over there, but it comes up as a point of interest as a police speed trap, which is interesting because it's helpful for me, because I live and drive in an area where speeding and speed traps aren't a big deal, but cops hanging out at like places to pull you over is a much bigger deal. You can get a ticket for other things besides speeding, and it sort of references that in the point of interest for police speed trap, which is kind of cool. I like that. So that's destination, retrieve address. Let's bring up Westchester again. Station guide.
Turn left.
So it rerouted really quick, and let's go to route map, and let's scale out, and we'll see what happens. And now when I scale my map out to 900 square yards, I see all my police speed traps around where I am. The thing with this, like if I'm routing and I'm driving, I would have to constantly like look at my map to see where my car is in relation to point of interest speed traps. It doesn't alarm you. I have a TomTom Go XXL 550, one of the newer ones that came out towards the end of 2010. with the traffic and maps, and that has a red light camera feature embedded into the map as a traffic feature that would alarm you as you approach it. So if I'm approaching a speed trap or a red light camera, the TomTom Go would buzzer off to say, just to let me know I'm approaching an intersection where there's a traffic feature such as a red light camera or police, or known police kind of presence, speed trap. It actually should be called police presence instead of police speed trap, because all these kind of warn you of where the patrol cars usually hang out. And I've lived in Brooklyn for a long time. I live in Westchester now, and using this, I found that these police car icons are indeed in locations where patrol cars tend to hang out and pull people over, or you have a high incident rate of driving by and seeing a cop like with a customer or something on the side of the road. And the Belt Parkway is right there, and as you can assume, the Belt Parkway in Brooklyn, I don't know if a lot of people live in the East Coast or in New York, well, no, there's a lot of police speed traps that actually went up on the Belt Parkway in the last couple of years that catches so many people. So as you can see, it has that along the Belt Parkway, and that's probably the only place in Brooklyn where you'd see a police speed trap or a patrol car that's hanging out with a radar actually aimed at people driving by. And that comes up on this, and that's kind of cool. Last week I went to Newark Airport in New Jersey, and I used it along the Turnpike, and it was also on point in the New Jersey Turnpike for where the speed traps are. So that's kind of cool. And you could also go back. We don't want that. Just show you one more thing before I go. Map positioning, and you could also do the perspective mode, and it'll flip up, and you'll see a point of interest. The icons, they're all still on there, but just distributed differently, a little differently, in a perspective 3-dimensional mode, and that's kind of cool. So let's go back, and let's see what we have for red light cameras in the vicinity. Real quick, travel information, info on city, search, car and travel, red light camera speed trap, search 25, search.
Turn left.
So now the icons changed to the speed trap, to the red light camera, and you can see the distribution around my car. My car is right here. Let's just do travel by direction mode, travel direction, and it'll flip up, and you'll see how the red light cameras are many in Brooklyn, and they're distributed around the car. As you can see, there's like 3 or 4, and there's one up there. You scale out a little bit, you'll see more cameras as you scale in and out. And the map scales pretty quick, and as you can see, there's like about 10 cameras, 7 or 10 cameras around my car, and it's really on point with those cameras. I'm really impressed with it. That's it. And again, another drawback of this is you can only have one point of interest on your screen at a time. So I can't have police speed traps and red light cameras on my screen. I can only have one or the two, and that's pretty much that. And that's it.